Why wouldn't you do that with property?
Right. Yes.
Wow. Why? I mean, I own some upscale apartments in well, townhomes in Irving, the Irving Las Colinas area. And every month, I go over, or even when my tenants, when their lease is getting close to being ready, I say, hey man, you got a great job. You're making 75, 80,000 a year. I can put you in something like this that can be yours. And they are just like blown away that, like, you want to put me out? No, I want to put you in. I want to
Yeah.
put you in the game. I want to put you in the wealth accumulation game.
Right.
I'm not trying to put you out, because the line forms to the left of people that have filled. I can't even get a sign in the yard, and I got 15 applications.
Yeah.
And I'm
That's
charging $2,000 a month for something that if they owned it, they could own it for $1,800 a month.
yeah. Yeah. So somehow we're going to have to switch the mindset, um, of African Americans to be able to think through what that looks like, what home ownership looks like, and closing up the wealth gap.
Yes.
So now this is an issue that's very prevalent amongst African Americans, but that's not to isolate any other race, because there are other races that are dealing with the same thing, but it just seems to be more prevalent in the African American communities.
Correct. Because our discretionary dollars, we have not held our discretionary income accountable. We have not made our money work as hard for us as we work for it. You should make
Mhm.
your money should work 3 times as hard for you as you work to obtain it.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. And so when you say making your money work for you, what are some of the ideas? What's the train of thought about that? What are some examples that we can share?
Well, well, first of all, pay as you go. So from a credit card standpoint, you have to have credit to be able to exist. I get that. But manage your credit. Don't let your credit manage you. What I mean by that is that if you have a credit card, everybody says, my spend, my limit is $5,000 on my card, or $10,000, or some people it's $1,500 on my card. Well,
Right.
some people don't look at that as a limit. They look at that as a goal that they're trying to reach, and they're trying to max that thing out.
Oh my
Don't do that.
gosh.
Don't do that.
Right.
I mean, use credit to play the game, to keep your credit worthiness. If you're going to borrow money, now I understand you have to borrow money, but borrow money for things that appreciate and not depreciate. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so
Mm-hmm.
I am blown away, Char, by the number of people that I see that come in for a mortgage, and they'll tell me, well, I don't want my house note over $1,500 a month, but I look on your credit report and you got a $900 car note.
Mm.
And you make $55,000 a year. Where you do that
Wow.
at?
Wow.
So
So
your
you
car note should be no more than 10% of your annual salary.
okay.
Period.
Mm-hmm.
Your largest expense should be your largest investment in your future, which is your home. Your home should not be more than 45% of your gross monthly income.
Wow.
So these are things that I teach, that I strategize with, that I tell people. I'll give you a perfect example. 3 years ago, I had a single mom, and this is before the market went crazy.
Mm-hmm.
3 years ago, I had a single mom. She was making $38,500 a year with 2 kids, and was getting child support when it was convenient for her ex.
Wow.
So we put her in $138,000 house in Lancaster. This is before the pandemic, obviously. This is before the market went crazy. But even then, Char, And she met the love of her life. And in 12 months, they got engaged and got married. 12 months to almost the day that we put her in that house in December of 17.
Mm-hmm.
She called back and said, hey, we're blending our families. I need a bigger house. So we put the house on the market. We sold the house. She was in that house 12 months. She walked away after commission, after fees, after paying title policy. She made $25,000 in 12 months.
Wow. In 12 months.
Now watch this. Did you hear me say her salary was less than 40,000?
Right. Right.
So and because it was her homestead, there was no capital gains. That money went into her pocket free and clear.
Wow.
So I'm asking anybody, show me what apartment complex or show me what landlord is going to give you a $25,000 earnest money refund when you move out in 12 months. That's the power of real estate.
Yeah.
Now watch this. It gets better. So we took that $25,000. We paid off her student loan. We paid off her car, and she went into her marriage debt
free. Jesus. Wow. That's
for,
amazing.
for basically just house sitting. So this is what I tell people. When I say the strategy, buy what you can until you can buy what you want, just look at it as I'm house sitting for someone else.
Right.
And somebody's going to pay me for house sitting.
Right. And I mean, just look at it, you're house sitting for yourself. I mean, that's even more powerful than I'm house sitting for someone else, because that money goes to you. When you
Correct.
sell, you are able to put that money in your pocket.
Correct.
That's pretty awesome. That is a awesome story. So where is that young lady now?
Well, they bought a bigger house in Lancaster, Texas. She had 2 kids. Eric had 2 kids. Now they have a 5th. So I'm hoping they're going to be calling me in the next year or so saying we need a bigger house.
That is a great story. But it's stuff like that where you're starting where you are and then growing from there. Because I think a big part of it is we want to look like we have so much, by driving the fancy cars, carrying the designer bags, with literally nothing in the bag. But we want to look like we're worth something. But really, when you get down to it and on paper, you're in full of debt.
Correct.
So you have some initiatives that you are putting into place, and I don't know which ones you want to talk about, because you have a bunch of things going on, but you just share whatever you're comfortable sharing and releasing at this time, because I know there's things that you have to get in order for some, and so just tell us what you have going on, initiatives where people can plug in and get involved immediately.
Yeah, man. I am doing a investor boot camp on November 6th at the Arlington Board of Realtors, and right here in Arlington, Texas. And what I'm so excited about is that I am going to demystify the investment opportunities in real estate. Everybody thinks it's all spooky and ooey gooey. I'm not saying it's easy, but it's not complicated either. Right. And so I'm going to share some principles, some time-proven principles that I've put in place over the last 15 years in my life personally, that's allowed me to buy and sell over 200 homes right here in the Metroplex. And I'm going to share that information. And let me tell you why. Because I need to equip people with these strategies for 2 reasons. Number one, it's going to strengthen our communities, because you're going to be able to go into areas after I teach you some of these strategies, how to identify homes that are in trouble, how to rescue those homes, how to rehab those homes, and then put good people in those homes that are praying for affordable home ownership. So it's going to increase your wealth, but it's also going to start someone else on the journey or on the path to creating wealth for their families as well.
Love it. Love it. So before we move on to any other initiatives, so we're talking specifically about investment properties with this initiative that you have coming up on November 6th.
Yeah, well,
Um,
but let me say this. It's investment properties, or it's also, let me tell you what I also see. I could see someone coming to this event that is not a homeowner, that desires homeownership. I show them how to acquire a property off market, below market, and then I turn around and I do a renovation loan for you, whether it's a conventional renovation loan, or if you got bumps and bruises on your credit, we do an FHA 203K, and
mhm.
that becomes your first home.
That's true. That's exactly where I was going with that.
Yeah,
That's exactly where I was going with that. I have come into contact with agents who have started investing before they even purchase their own home.
yeah,
So that's an opportunity too. So I love that. I love that. That's November 6th at the Arlington Board of Realtors.
yes.
How can they be a part of that? How can they register for that event? How much is the event? And where do we go? How do we get people plugged into that?
Yeah, they can go to the website. It is wealththroughrealestate.us. They can go wealththroughrealestate.us, and all the information is there. There's a link to register for the event. As of the shooting of this episode, the early bird special is still in play, which is $99. But I don't know what it's going to be when they click on the link, but that's what it is at the time of this taping.
Okay. All right. That's awesome. So tell us a little bit more. So you talked about all the strategies that you're going to share with them. You've talked about that. Is there anything else that they can expect to walk away from that event?
Yeah, they're going to, great question. They're going to walk away knowing that it's possible. They're going to walk away with a blueprint to either become an investor or a homeowner, or
Okay.
both. They're going to walk away with the knowledge of saying, you know what? I'm going to, just like you did when I shared some of that information with you, I'm going to look at the accumulation of wealth through a different lens. I'm going to start looking at it that, you know what? I can have some things now as I wait to get the bigger things later.
Right.
And so, yeah, so I want to teach them how to create financial momentum in their lives instead of
Love
just
it.
waiting and continue to make people like me rich. I want to show them how to get in the wealth game, wealth accumulation game for themselves. They'll also, one of my good friends owns a accounting firm. He's going to be there sharing some strategies about the tax benefits and some of the strategies that you get as an investor or as a homeowner, some of the benefits. Okay.
Love it.
I'm going to have one of my commercial agents there for people that's a little more advanced in the room, that if you want to talk about how to acquire multifamily apartment complexes or duplexes or strip malls and stuff like that, he's going to be there. And then I'm going to have one of my friends there that she's going to speak on commercial lending. If you're
Ooh,
at that level and you have a salon or a barbershop, or you want to open a restaurant, she's the person that you need to connect with, that they can help you structure your financing for commercial. And obviously I'll be there helping with strategies from a residential standpoint.
I love it. I love it. I'm excited about that. I will be in
Yes,
attendance.
you will.
Because I just feel like I'm a lifelong learner and I want to learn. I want to be able to pour into the agents that I serve. I want to be able to pour into our communities. And I think the best way that we can do that is by putting yourself in a position to learn and
Yes.
not just have the mindset, well, oh, I know it all, but being willing to learn and taking that and then pouring into the communities and to the people we serve. So tell me a little bit about where your passion for this comes from, because when you speak, you can definitely tell that there is a deep-seated passion as you speak about, helping communities, helping individuals, and going back to help someone up.
Yeah. So, wow. So it started for me very early. I probably had to be probably about 7 or 8. And I was what would happen is that we would spend the summers with my grandparents while my mom was in school furthering her education. Uh, she was taking college courses during the summer.
Mm-hmm.
And back then, Char, the insurance person would come by your house to pick up the premium. So you don't know nothing
Uh-huh.
about that. You too young to know something
I
about that.
remember that. I remember that.
And so I remember, and back then, hospice was in your house.
Mm-hmm.
They people of color, it was in your house. So my grandfather, my maternal grandfather was very, very sick. And so they had basically sent him home to die. And so the insurance guy had come by and all of my cousins were outside playing. And I don't know why to this day, but I do know why I was in the house. And so I remember my grandmother sitting there, and he was a tall, lanky white guy, and he had a hat on. He'd always have a suit on, and he'd have the little payment book.
Mm-hmm.
And so my grandmother was asking about my grandfather. Says, "Hey, in the event that he dies, I just want to understand where we are and what we get." And so she went and got the policy, and it was folded over, and it had a big rubber band around it. So they opened it up, and I'm like sitting in her lap at the table, and he's showing her the policy, and he's showing it's got the little book with all the little payments. Every time he'd come by and take the cash payment, he'd sign for it. And so he says, well, if Jerry dies, this is how much money you get. I don't remember the amount, but the reaction of my grandmother, I knew it wasn't a lot. And she said,
Mm-hmm.
but wait a minute, we've had this policy 30 something years, and we've paid the premiums on time. I ain't never late with this. He says, I understand, but y'all borrowed some money to get my aunt a car, and y'all haven't paid that back, and then you borrowed some money for something else. So I have to take that back. And that's why if Jerry dies, this is what you'll get.
Wow.
And so with my grandmother being respectful and not pushing the envelope, she was like, okay, I understand. I understand. And
Mm-hmm.
so he left, took the payment, and says, I hope Jerry's okay, but whatever happens, we here at Northwestern Mutual, or whatever the name of the company, we're here, blah, 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 blah. And he left. And so I remember my grandmother just sitting there staring at the policy. And I've always been the one to want to make it right. Does that make sense? I
Mm-hmm.
don't like seeing people that I love hurting.
Hurting. Mm-hmm.
And I just remember she was sitting there, and I didn't know why, but I just started saying, I'm gonna fix this. I'm gonna fix this. I'll fix this. I'm gonna learn about money. I'm gonna learn how money works, mama, and I'm gonna fix this. I'm gonna fix this for you. I'm gonna fix this for you. And I just started crying. And she was like, it's gonna be okay, babe. God will provide. God will provide. And I would probably say that would be the spark for
Mm-hmm.
me.
Mm-hmm. At 6 and 7 years old.
Yeah. And from
Wow.
that, and from that,
Mm-hmm.
I went to school, got a degree in business. And so I started my career as a investment banker.
Mm-hmm.
And I was working with high net worth clients, and I loved it. I did, don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But I still kind of felt like, okay, I remember one day I was in a deposition, and they were fighting over their two um, um, ski lodges that they own in Vail, Colorado.
Wow.
And I was like, man, I'm not being true to what I said.
Mm,
I'm not taking what I've learned about Wall Street and taking it to Main Street or my
mm,
street.
mm-hmm.
And so I left that organization. And I remember telling my dad, I was 25. Yeah, 25, 26. And I told my dad I was leaving and I was going to go do this entrepreneurial thing. And Char, he said, man, you're single. You don't have any kids. You're making 45,000 a year plus bonuses, you
At
know.
26, mind you,
Yeah,
I'm listening, but I'm just
yeah,
picking up on the key things.
yeah. He was like, why would you, why would you do that? And I remember saying, Dad, if I'm gonna fail, this will be the time to fail because it's just me. And back then, Jack in the Box would have their jumbo jacks for 99 cents. So I was saying, I can feed my whole family for 99 cents. It's just me.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna fail, this is the time to fail. And so, my parents were very supportive. And so I just, you know, got into real estate. And my first 6 months, I got in May. So my first 6 months, not even knowing how to spell FHA, I so this was my spiel. Hi, my name is Tommy Jones. I'm with Home Loan Corporation. I would like you remember back then, well, not even back then, they still do it now. When you go into the model homes, they have the little traffic cards that you
Mm-hmm.
fill out.
Mm-hmm.
So I would go in and say, hi, my name is Tommy Jones with Home Loan Corporation. I would like to talk to your clients that you've turned down in the last 30 to 60 days for a mortgage.
Okay.
And they would give me just boxes of these traffic cards. And so when I got into business, it wasn't automated like it is now. You didn't have all these dialers. And I would call it dumpster diving. And I would
Mm,
call these cards. Hey, my name is Tommy Jones with Home Loan Corporation. And I know you were out at XYZ Builder. It looks like, you couldn't qualify right now. Would you have a problem if I did a complimentary credit analysis on you and see what we can do to help get you in position to buy a home?
wow.
They're like, it's free? I was like, yeah, it's free. And so I self-taught myself the FHA guidelines. I self-taught myself how to read credit reports, how to dispute stuff on credit, how to advise my clients on stuff on credit. And that's how I got started
Wow.
in the business.
Wow.
Yeah, over 20 plus years ago. And so I still hold all of that stuff near and dear to me now. One of the things, and I get emotional when I think about this, I'm in talks right now. I graduated from the University of Texas at Arlington, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm in talks right now with the business school and the Black Alumni Association. We're going to be doing in 2022. We're rolling out the Maddie and Jerry Beiser Minority Scholarship. Those are my grandparents,
Uh-huh. That's
and
awesome.
yeah, so I'm starting a scholarship in their honor for persons of color that want to pursue a degree in real estate. And because my grandparents, they were believers, they were churchgoers, they were actually pastors,
Wow.
but they died renters. They died
Yeah.
renters. And I don't want that fate for anybody else. One of the things that you'll always hear me say, Char, is that we all pay a mortgage, but not all of us are homeowners.
That's true. That's true.
And
Wow.
so that's what gets, so that was my first charge. My second charge came actually this year when I started looking around and I see the disparity because of the scarcity of what's in the market for homeowners.
Mm-hmm.
So I see them constantly having to bid 10, 15, 20,000 over list and still not getting it.
Right.
So I wanted to take something public that I've been doing private for the last 15 years, which is investing in communities of color. And I want to teach other people how to become an ambassador like me and hopefully go back in these communities, uplift them by raising the tax value, the property value. Because, when you have less vacant homes, you have less crime. When you have better homes, it increases. I can't tell you. I mean, I'm in Stop Six and Oak Cliff right now, rehabbing about 4 houses. And I can't tell you how everybody on the block starts painting, starts cutting their shrubs.
Yes.
It becomes infectious.
It does. It does. And I mean, even in regular neighborhoods,
Yes.
where the median income is okay, and there's not necessarily poverty, you get a roofer in there, you get somebody to repair the fence, and you're right, it is contagious, and people are looking at that. So I can only imagine what that does for a community when you start to elevate and build it up.
Yes. Yes.
Awesome.
So that was my first charge at the age of 7 or 8. My second charge came at the age of 50 this year, when I started seeing, what can I do to help close this wealth gap in communities of color. So I started being very strategic, whether I was going to the courthouse steps, whether I was riding through distressed neighborhoods, on wanting to buy back the block, wanting to buy stuff in predominantly socio-economically deprived areas of the Metroplex, buy these houses back, rehab these houses. And my goal is, all you got to do is vacuum and mow the yard for the next 5 to 7 years, because we've rehabbed this thing in such a way, new roof, new HVAC, new foundation, if it needed, that all you got to do, man, is hold on.
Yeah.
We took care of everything else, foreseeable that we could see in a house. And all you got to do is vacuum and mow the yard. So that's my charge. When we hand you the keys, it's like, we got you. I do something that I don't know many investors do. I do a 3-year no leak guarantee on the roof. If I replace the roof, 3 years, you can call me back. From the day you signed, you got up to 3 years to call me back if you have it. I ain't talking about call your insurance, because that's going to do what? Raise your insurance.
Your insurance rates.
Call me. If I put a new roof on that house and sold it to you, you got 36 months. Call me.
That's awesome.
And we'll either repair or replace without getting your insurance involved.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Those are the 2 pivotal points in my life that said, okay, I want to be a voice. I want to be a light. I want to be a roadmap to help people in the area of real estate and have a healthy, mature, dignified conversation around wealth through real estate.
That's awesome. Now, are you, do you have any partners currently that you're working with?
Yes. So I have partnered with this amazing organization out of California, and we're gonna unveil them at the we're gonna do a press release and unveil them at my event on the 6th. Now let me tell you what they do. They just had they just bought another one. They've done like 10 of them in California, and now they're doing it all over the country.
Okay.
They just bought a 500 room hotel, and what they do is they go in and they repurpose the hotel, and they make it temporary housing or affordable housing for homeless people while they re-enter back into society.
I love it. I love it. I love it. That's so important. Looking and doing some research into City Square. Are you familiar with them?
I'm very familiar with them.
So I'm looking at ways to get involved with that platform because I think what they're doing is amazing. And we have to get out there, boots on the ground, to make
Right.
these changes. It just doesn't happen overnight. Um, there's, been years of, disparate treatment, and you can't undo that in one day,
Correct.
2 days. I mean,
Yeah.
it's really takes more of us getting involved and figuring out how can we be a part? How can
Correct.
we help?
And that's why I'm so excited. That's why I'm so excited to partner with you, to partner with even other mortgage. Well, I can't partner with other mortgage companies. That would be a conflict of interest. But I
Right.
can partner with other loan officers. And what I'm saying to other loan officers, what I'm saying to other real estate people, I mean, we're we may be on a different team, but we're all in the same game.
That's right.
Look,
That's
if
right.
you ever notice, and I don't know if you watch sports, but if you ever notice when a player goes down, and I'm going to talk about this at your event, when a player on an opposing team goes down and gets hurt, the other team comes around and shows concern for that player, even though they're on another team. You know why? Because they know you may be my opponent in this game
Right.
today, but overall, I need you to be successful for the overall unity of the league.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I may be in competition with a John Muhammad or a Charmaine Armstrong, right? But
Yes.
overall, I need them winning inside of their organizations.
Right.
Listen, I told you when you got promoted, I need you killing it at Caldwell Banker for
Yeah.
all of us.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you never send me alone, I need you winning.
Yeah.
I need them to get used to seeing people that look like me in a position of power,
Hmm.
because that makes it easy for all of us.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and you and I have talked about this before. I don't take any of anything or any position lightly. I know that I have a responsibility,
Yes.
not only, just to my family and not only to other people, but just anybody who is looking at me. And it doesn't matter what their race is,
Correct.
anybody that's looking, I need to be an example.
Correct.
And I don't take that lightly. So I try to, in every aspect of my life, be who I am in private. That's the same person you're going to see in public. You
Yeah.
know, definitely my heart goes out to everyone, and I do have a servant's heart, and I am a servant leader. And I do that with pride, and I don't take it lightly. So I do understand and respect where you're coming from and what you're saying, and I don't take it lightly at all.
Yes. Yes.
I don't take it lightly, and I'm trying not to get choked up here. I'm a big crybaby. But yeah,
But you
this
know
is
what? Let me say this. That's one of the things that makes you an amazing leader, because you do wear your heart on your sleeve and you lead with your heart. And so that's the first thing that people see and they feel after being in your presence is your heart. That's why people will run through a brick wall for you, because of how you make them feel about the mission, but more importantly, how you make them feel about themselves.
right. Right. And it's important. Okay, Tommy, we need to move on because the waterworks about to start coming, boy. So we're gonna have to move on to something else.
Okay. Okay. All right.
But this has been awesome, awesome conversations. I'm so excited to get to partner with you on a couple of different things. I'm
Yes.
excited about the installation that's coming up for the Women's Council of Realtors. That I believe is really going to be an amazing event. So I'm excited about that. And just really looking forward to seeing what's in store for all of us. I mean, I know
Yeah.
that there are great things happening all around us, and I just can't wait. I just want to be here to cheer you on in all of your efforts,
Thank you. Thank you.
and endeavors, because I know you are going to do even more amazing things with what you've set to do. And you too, you have a servant's heart too.
Thank
So
you.
that's what's going to make the difference in what you're doing from, someone else. So looking forward to the partnership, looking forward to
Yes.
seeing
Yes.
amazing things. So tell me, is there anything else you want to talk about before we wrap up here?
Man, I just want to thank you for the opportunity of sharing your platform with me, to talk to the people that rock with you, to talk to your tribe, to introduce myself to your tribe. I don't take that lightly. When a person shares their platform, you're sharing a piece of you. And so
Yeah.
again, I don't take the responsibility lightly that comes with that, and the sharing of a platform, and the blending of a brand. The blending of a brand is really, really big. You walk in integrity. I just love everything that you do. I'm so excited. And again, I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart, um, for the opportunity to partner in the future, and also to share your platform with me on today.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you. How can people get a hold of Mr. Tommy Jones? How
Man,
can they
so
reach you?
yeah, they can reach me through Tommy at the Tommy D, as in Dwayne Jones.com. It's Tommy at the THE TommyDJones.com. That's the quickest way to reach me. I have somebody that mans that site. They're constantly looking at it. And then if you have a request for me to come speak at an event, or if you want to talk about partnering on some things in the community, reach out to me that way. Let me know. And if it makes sense, everything's birthed in prayer. And then if it makes logical sense after that, then I'm all over it.
Sounds great. Sounds good. All right. So talk to us again one more time about the event coming up on November 6th.
Yes,
The date, the time, all of
yes,
that.
yes, November 6th at the Arlington Board of Realtors. Registration, or the doors open at 9 a.m. We're going to get started. It's going to be a day packed full of just basically removing the scales off of your eyes and showing you what's possible in real estate. We're going to unpack some things. We're going to get granular on some things. We're going to stay very high level on other things. And just you're gonna walk out there with a better understanding than you have right now of what it takes to find, finance, flip, and then ultimately either sell or hold your real estate properties.
Okay. I love it. I love it. I'm excited about that. Well, Mr. Tommy, thank you so much for spending time with me this morning. This
Yes.
is Chit Chat with Char. And our platform is to connect, collaborate, and cultivate meaningful relationships so that we can make a difference with the people that we touch and in our community. So thank you for joining us today. Looking forward to seeing what great things happen. So stay tuned. Go and follow Tommy. Follow him on all of the social media platforms to get engaged with what he's doing. Reach out to me if you need that introduction or connection. I'm happy to do so. Tommy, thank you. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And for those listening, thank you for joining us and watching on today. And we look forward to seeing you on next week. Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye. Bye bye.